Hey folks, so today we're going to do a bit of a Q&A, looking at the question of non-self and doing vlog videos, and also asking you guys a question about the music. Coming right up. Hey folks, so I'm Doug Smith. I'm study director at the Secular Buddhist Association. That's secularbuddhism.org. And if you're interested in helping to promote a wiser, a kinder, and a less stress-filled world, consider subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. All you need to do is push a button and you're subscribed, and we'll be making videos like these every Monday, plus an extra here and there like this one, basically on the topic of secular Buddhism, early Buddhism, and related kinds of thoughts, philosophies, and ideas. So first of all, I want to ask a question about the music. Music has been basically a trial run for me on these videos. I know that some people find the music distracting. Sometimes it's a little bit too loud. In a couple of videos I haven't been able to change that because the YouTube music thing doesn't work very well. I guess the basic idea is, if you like the music, if you don't like the music, if you don't care about the music, it's difficult to find royalty-free music to put on these. So finding music that's long enough, that fits the kind of atmosphere I'm trying to make is difficult. So anyway, just some thoughts about that. So that's for you in the comments and questions. Just let me know what you think. Okay, and now second, a question by Giola Redidio is asking about the vlogs. I've made some vlogs on the site. And he asks, don't you find that accepting the doctrine of non-self weakens the impulse to think of oneself in personal autobiographical terms? And that would potentially make it more difficult then to do kind of a vlog, you know, where you're talking about yourself or your history. I mean, it's a very, very interesting question. But I think that if we look back, certainly the history of Buddhism, at the early texts that describe the Buddha, we don't find somebody who doesn't have a personality. We find somebody with a very strong personality, with a very strong idea of who he is, with a strong idea of his own past. Even if he may have given up part of that past in order to become homeless, to become a wandering ascetic, nevertheless, he did end up raising his son, Rahula, from the age of 7. He did have an ongoing relationship with his clan, with the countries and people around him. So there's no sense that an awakened being would lose their own personality or their own sense of who they were. Rather, I think we should look to non-self as a route towards loosening our attachment to our personality, to our own past. Which again, isn't to say that it isn't there. It isn't to say that it isn't going to have a hold on us. But it is going to say that we're going to hold it. It's going to hold us, we're going to hold it, with more of an open hand than a closed fist. Now, and of course, I do not mean to suggest by any means that I am near awakening. That's the other issue here, which is, you know, look, I'm a normal person trying to make my way in the world with these philosophies, just as I'm sure most or all of you are. We also shouldn't be trying to compare ourselves too highly. And I think this is a general kind of issue that a lot of people have with not only the early texts, but with all of Buddhism. People in the West tend to be very, very goal-oriented and goal-directed, and that can have its benefits. But also it tends to make us leap towards, as it were, the front of the line, at least in our mind, thinking, okay, if there's a goal out there, then I'm going to put myself, you know, one step away from that goal. And so as a result, we tend to miss a lot of the path. It's sort of like the great simile of the raft that the Buddha gives in the Alaggadupama Sutta, where he says that we shouldn't cling to the Dharma like somebody clinging to a raft. The raft is to cross the river, and once we're across the river, we can leave the raft on the side and go walking. We don't hold the raft with us. And that is indeed a very, very appropriate simile, but I think a lot of us are on the near bank and are giving up the raft, or we're in the river and we're giving up the raft. And if you do either one of those things, you certainly never will get to the farther shore. There is a real importance in looking at the Dharma and understanding the Dharma and understanding correct practice, and in realizing that we're nowhere near the end. And so, you know, we're going to have our own attachments. We're going to have our own difficulties. And part of, I think, the path is to come to terms with those attachments, for what they are, for attachments. As a result, some people are going to find videos where somebody talks about their own past, their own attachments, their own difficulties, to be more approachable, to be more interesting, to be more helpful than somebody who comes across as not having anything like that, as not having a personality, frankly. So, I mean, I have certainly got a strong personality. I have a lot of strong likes and dislikes, probably too many. And one of the things that, in fact, I've found over the years of practice is that some of that has indeed relaxed. There are many kinds of discussions that I can have now with people perfectly pleasantly that I wouldn't have been able to do 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It just wouldn't have been who I was, which shows that who you are changes, like everything. And if you can change it in the right direction, you can make the world a happier place for yourself, a wiser, a kinder, and a less stress-filled place. Again, that doesn't mean giving up your personality, but it does mean coming to terms with it in a way that we can relax around it and see it for what it is, which is something coming out of a long past of history, but that doesn't need to have a death grip upon us. Okay, so that's a quick two-question Q&A here. First one is a question for you guys, and second one was a question for me. I hope you enjoyed that. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Glad to have you here. Check out some of the other videos where I actually talk about the Dharma rather than answering questions, but if you like that, check them out. And if you're coming back, welcome back. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed, as I say, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.